Hey guys, this is Tia, and I'm the owner of Nail Dip Studio, an online nail boutique that specializes in acrylic dip powder. So, if you're interested in any of the products that I'm using today, head over to my website. Now, I am excited about showing you guys my interpretation of a Russian manicure. I think that it's imperative that you get some tips and tricks on how to do it so that you're not intimidated by it. Because a Russian manicure can be intimidating to someone who's just sort of starting out. One of the things that I'm going to be using is a dual-ended cuticle pusher. And one of the things that I like about my cuticle pusher is that it has a flat edge on the opposite end. And that allows me to really focus on removing and scraping up that membrane, so from the actual nail plate. And it's also helping to lift up and reveal the skin that I'm going to be trimming in a later clip. I will use my cuticle remover to remove that protein, to remove that membrane, push it up. And that is that white film that you see that's being lifted up in and around my nail, in and around the cuticle area and along the side walls. And it's important that you push that back and scrape that back. Now that we've pushed everything back and we know the area that we want to focus on, that's our guide. We're not going to go any further past that area in which we removed and started to lift up the cuticle. Now I'm going to grab my micro flame bit, and I'm going to grab that bit, and it's going to help to guide the remaining skin that will be trimmed. This is the skin that I am going to be cutting off that's going to give me that precision, that crisp cut. I may cut in multiple passes, but it's the final result is going to be very, very polished. It's going to give you this sort of seamless, very unified cuticle finish. It screams professional, like you went and got your nails. I'm in a DC area. It looks as if you went and got your nails done on, like, in Georgetown or in Potomac or in Tyson's. It's giving you that. So you want to use that flame bit to help flip that skin back that you're going to be trimming. And you can sort of see the guide that I have here. You see how that skin was once flat. Now it's very much so the guide. I know exactly what I'm going to be trimming in the clip to come. Now let's dust everything off. That's very important because you got to see what you're going to be doing. And I'm going to be using my nippers. Again, I started lifting on the opposite side, on the opposite end. I'm not on the inner part of my nail. I'm on the outer part of my nail. That again is where you want to start. I'm going to cut in two passes. The first pass is going to be my initial trim down. This is going to show me and allow me to see how much further I need to go so that I'm not cutting into the live tissue. As you can see, I did a first pass. This is now my second pass to remove all of that extra skin that I don't want. I want this to look very much so like a true Russian manicure, and you can start to see how it's shaping up. So that's why I cut in two passes. First is just to trim the initial cut down so that guides me. And then the second is to get really, really close to and to remove everything without damaging my nail. I saw a little hangnail there. I'm going to trim that up as well. And again, just do a once over and remove anything that I didn't catch. Now that I'm happy with my trim and my prep for my nail, I'm going to grab a couple of other nail bits and I'm going to actually start the polishing component of the manicure. I'm going to grab my sanding bit. I'm also going to grab my safety bit, and then I'm going to grab my micro ball and my diamond ball. I'm going to grab the diamond ball to help polish around the cuticle, and that allows you not to have any snags or any, like broken skin. It really, really does blend everything back in. And this is just an extra step, but it's a step that is very necessary. Always, too, when you're starting out, just another tip, keep your machine on a low setting. You don't have to have your machine at 7. You don't have to have your machine at 9. I find that keeping my machine at a lower setting allows me to have more control. I'm using a 240 sanding bit because I'm just trying to buff the nail. Now I'm grabbing that safety bit to polish, and then I'm going to use my diamond ball, and it's going to be the large one. I'm going to use that to polish around the cuticle and really give it that precision look. Now that that's all done, I'm going to grab a micro Q-tip and a lint-free wipe with a little alcohol, and I'm going to clean up and sort of check my work. And I want to do this before I move on to the next nail because it's important that, you remove everything in your Russian manicure. It's very precise. It's very clean. It's very neat. And so in order for that to truly to have the essence of, you want to make sure that you're cleaning around that cuticle area. And see how I removed all of that skin? And you see nothing. It's just like that very precision cut and trim. No damage, no swollenness there. You don't see any bleeding. Again, I can go into a more detailed video if you guys would want. So just leave a comment. Someone tell me, give me a full, a full video dedicated to a Russian manicure, your interpretation, and I'll do that in my next video for you guys. But yeah, this is one of the things that I like to do. I like to make sure that I'm cleaning underneath my nails, and I'm just checking my work before I proceed forward. Always inspect your work. Now, there's a little piece that I did not grab or cut off, and I'm just going to grab it. I'm not going to try to grab more. I'm just going to grab it. And once I'm done pulling back that piece, I'll move on to the next finger. But you don't want to overdo it. You definitely don't want to overdo it, because this is where people get into trouble, because they're basically stabbing themselves. You just want to be very gentle, use sharp utensils, but pace yourself. You don't have to go super fast. You want to take your time, but definitely check your work, clean your work, and remove any loose ends before you proceed to the next nail. Now let's repeat the same steps on the next finger. Using that flat edge of a dual-ended cuticle pusher and remover, I'm using the removing side, which is the scraper, and I'm pushing back and removing that membrane. That's there, removing that cuticle. That's there, lifting that up so that I can trim that off. In addition to that, I'm also revealing and I'm disconnecting the connection point between the protein that's holding the skin connected to the nail. I'm breaking that up and pushing that back. And that's going to be the area, again, that we're going to be trimming. We're not over trimming. I'm not pushing too far back, and I'm being very gentle. Very gentle, because you do not want cuts and nicks. You don't want those. You ever seen those women that have had Russian manicures, but maybe not by really good, like self-taught or professionally trained folks, and they have really swollen cuticles, like it's like really risen. It's high. It's because they've damaged, a lot of they've maybe damaged their nail matrix. Maybe they damaged the actual. I forgot the part that's behind there, but they damaged their nail, and as a part of that trauma, it's creating scar tissue, and so that's why you want to be extremely gentle when you're doing a Russian manicure. It doesn't have to be, a lot of steps either. It can be very simple as scraping back, trimming, grabbing your file, and moving on. So hopefully you guys like this particular clip. And if you want to see a longer video dedicated to just the manicure itself, let me know in the comments and I'll do so. So we just concluded the first phase of the Russian manicure. Now let's move into the shaping and filing of the natural nail. I'm using a 180 grit nail file to shape the free edge and to also taper the sides. I want to make sure that I have a tapered natural nail prior to doing my dip layers. This allows me to prolong the integrity of my dip manicure, and it doesn't, if you struggle with like separation of the nail from the actual product, like if your product or your natural nail is starting to curve underneath, that's because you don't have a proper seal between the powder and the natural nail, and it may have gotten compromised during filing. And if so, trying to like pre-file your natural nail to the point of where you want your final look to be may give you a better result and payoff, because you wouldn't have to do all of that filing on the back end because you did 50% of it right now. Now let's clean everything off. And again, you want to inspect your work. You want to check. This is your opportunity to get those things that you just simply just didn't see, or maybe they may have been hidden because you did a step over here that may have flattened it out. But now if you do a different step, it will show, um, you know, an area that you missed. Go ahead, inspect your work. be critical of yourself, of your work, like, oh, that's how you get better. See, there's a little piece right there that I missed, completely missed it. If I don't get this up, it will irritate me because I'm going to see it. Like, why didn't I get that? And then I damage something more. So take the time to do it now so that you don't have any additional work on the back end. Now that we've completed our manicure, I'm going to use a little alcohol, spray things down, and I'm going to go and wash my hands before I jump into the next phase of the tutorial. But did you follow the steps and do your nails look like that? That's the big question. If so, let me know in the comment section. You can definitely see the difference between, my left finger versus my right finger. Left finger, we just did the complete tutorial on. Right finger needs a prayer and some work, and we're going to get to her. Now, off camera, I took the liberty of doing 8 of my nails, and I want you to sort of see what my dip manicure looks like now. Look at the cuticles. That game changer. Game changer. I'm going to show you how I do these 2 nails. Just doing a quick little tutorial again. But the shade that I'm using is called Socialite. She's available on the site right now. And look at that. That is a precise manicure, dry manicure that is going to make your dip mat. You're going to get so many compliments if you follow these steps on your nails this go around. And I think this is like the new way that I want to do my nails, and I'm going to do them in the tutorial. So, oh my gosh, I'm in love. But I'm just going to do my normal steps. I'm going to create my apex. I love a little curve. I'm going to go in and do about 5 layers, and I'm going to seal everything with clear. Now, I prefer stronger nails. I'm not into like the really, really thin nails. So I like a little bit of meat, but I don't like bulk. And you'll see throughout my tutorial how I do that. Once I'm finished doing all of my layers, I'm going to apply step number 3, which is the bond. I'm going to allow that to help cure my nails. And once that happens, we're going to move into the shaping, the hand washing, and I'll be back when it's time for us to put on our gel polish. Enjoy. Now that we're all done with our filing and shaping, we're going to grab that buffer, start buffing our nails down. I'm then going to go wash my hands thoroughly, and I'll see you back here for the gel overlay. Now that my hands are all washed, I'm going to grab my lamp and I have my gel polish. I'm going to be using the base coat. I'm also going to be using the top coat, and I'm going to grab my sunscreen and my gloves. So I'm going to put my glove on, but before I do that, I'm going to grab my sunscreen, and it's SPF 70. I'm going to grab that and put that all over my hand. Now, when I am getting now UV gloves, I prefer a longer glove, longer finger glove. I don't like the shorter ones. I don't want too much skin exposed. Want to sort of expose as little as possible. So The gloves that I prefer to use are longer in the finger, and I find that that allows me to have better coverage. So you'll see me apply the sunscreen on, and I'm applying it to any area of my skin that may be exposed. And even if you get some of the sunscreen on the actual nail that you're going to apply the gel polish to, you can easily remove that a couple of times by using a lint-free wipe and some alcohol. Now, as you can see, one of my pinky finger heavily saturated in the oil from the sunscreen. You can see it. I'm going to wipe my finger several times to get that oil off. What you want your finger to look like, it should look very dehydrated. If you see any areas that look wet or still look like they have some oil deposits on them, you have to re-wipe your nails down because your gel is not going to cure properly. Now, I'm going to grab my base coat. My base coat, I'm going to go in and I'm going to apply a thin layer. I'm going to apply a thin layer, pushing that product back to the cuticle area without flooding. I'm also not flooding my side walls. I'm working in one direction. And I'm flipping the brush over, as you just saw there, so that I don't put any more product on the brush. I don't need any more product. I just need to utilize the product that I have coming down from the stem, and that's on the other side of the brush. And so again, use doing the same steps, flipping that brush over to grab a little bit more product from the back side. I'm sweeping and capping the free edge, and I'm making sure that I'm not flooding the cuticle or the side walls. I'm going to stick my hand under the lamp for 60 seconds. Now I'm going to grab my top coat. I'm going to apply 2 layers. This will be my first layer. I'm going to go in, push that product back towards the cuticle area without flooding the cuticle line or the side walls. I'm always going to sweep that free edge. And this will be my first layer. I will then cure my nails for 60 seconds, apply a second layer, cure my nails for 60 seconds, and that will conclude this tutorial. So thank you so much for watching today's tutorial. I will be back in a couple of weeks with some more content, new concepts, and ideas. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, keep dipping.